Well, arming the Syrian opposition was something that led to the rise of Islamic State. US Vice President Joe Biden admits this was a key strategic mistake, made not by Washington, but by its Arab allies. Igor Piskunov gauges the reaction.
Our allies in the region were our largest problem in Syria. The Turks were great friends, the Saudis, the Emirates, etc. What were they doing? They were so determined to take down Assad, they poured hundreds of millions of dollars and thousands of tons of weapons into anyone who would fight against Assad, except that the people who were being supplied were al-Nusra and al-Qaeda and the extremist elements of jihadis coming from other parts of the world.
For the first time, U.S. authorities openly admit their allies in the Middle East have been aiding terrorists. But it wasn't that long ago that American officials seemed so confident both in the Syrian opposition.
I just don't agree that a majority are al-Qaeda and the bad guys. That's not true.
Our intelligence agencies, I think, have a very good handle on who to support and who not to support.
And also stood shoulder to shoulder with their allies aiding them in Syria.
We are working hand and glove with the Turks, with the Jordanians, with the Saudis, and with all the people in the region, attempting to identify the people who deserve the help.
The help included automatic rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, ammunition, and anti-tank weapons funneled across the Syrian-Turkish border, and more than 160 military-style cargo plane flights to Turkey from Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar by spring 2013 alone. Not to mention the official coordination of the whole process by Washington, including alleged CIA rebel training camps. And now the U.S. is throwing its allies under the bus.
Now that it has become critical, politically essential for Obama to deflect blame away from what's going on in Syria, they have to find an easy scapegoat, one that resonates with the American people, and Saudi Arabia is that perfect scapegoat.
Not only Saudi Arabia, but the entire Gulf Cooperation Council, the Gulf monarchies, all are in the camp of the United States.
It is quite unlikely that Washington's allies in the Middle East will take Joe Biden's latest claims with applause. And these are the same allies which are supposed to help the U.S. fight ISIS in Iraq and Syria. It seems this time the administration really has put itself in quite a brain twister, since when it comes to ISIS, well, that genie has already proven to be quite unwilling to be put back in its bottle. Igor Piskunov, RT, Washington.
Well, let's trace America's involvement in arming the Syrian rebels. In the summer of 2012, it became known that the CIA was operating in Turkey, helping US allies select which rebel groups to arm. A year on, the agency helped Arab nations expand weapon shipments. In September last year, Barack Obama confirmed that the first US-trained rebels had been deployed in Syria. Also that month, reports emerged that Washington was secretly funneling weapons to the opposition itself. Some Middle East analysts say that the US has backed itself into a diplomatic corner.
The reality is that there is no way to hold the Middle East together without stabilizing Assad and without the U.S. coming to some agreement with Iran. Assad and Iran are in a very strong position right now, because if Iraq is to fail, that's going to be a very black mark against the United States for a very long time.
The U.S. and NATO in general are very embarrassed by the fact that it is no longer tenable that there is something like a democratic revolution in Syria, and they're trying to distance themselves from that through these statements. But of course, there's also another factor here that we shouldn't ignore, which is that they're deft dialecticians. In other words, that the chessboard is changing. They're playing around with terminology and trying to assure people that they know what they're doing.